John 11:45 through 57 says this: Many of the people who were with Mary believed in Jesus when they saw this happen, but some of the Pharisees went and told them what Jesus had done. Then the leading priests and Pharisees called the high council together. "What are we going to do?" they asked each other. "This man certainly performs miraculous signs. If we allow him to go on like this, soon everyone will believe in him. Then the Roman army will come and destroy both our temple and our nation." Caiaphas, who was high priest at that time, said, "You don't know what you're talking about. You don't realize that it's better for you that one man should die for the people than the whole nation be destroyed." He did not say this on his own. As a high priest at that time, he was led to prophesy that Jesus would die for the entire nation, and not only for that nation, but would bring together and unite all the children of God scattered around the world. So from that time on, the Jewish leaders began to plot Jesus' death. As a result, Jesus stopped his public ministry among the people and left Jerusalem. He went to a place near the wilderness, to a village of Ephraim, and stayed there with his disciples. It was now almost time for the Jewish Passover celebration, and many of the people all over the country arrived in Jerusalem several days early so they could go through the purification ceremony before Passover began. They kept looking for Jesus, but as they stood around the temple, they said to each other, "What do you think? He won't come to Passover, will he?" Meanwhile, the leading priests and Pharisees had publicly ordered that anyone seeing Jesus was report it immediately so that they could arrest him. So what's happening here is this is right after Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead, and many people started to believe in Jesus after this miracle. The Jews were so scared that everyone was going to start believing in Jesus because of all of his miracles that they decided they were going to try to put him to death. So Caiaphas, the high priest, says it's better that one person die than that the whole nation goes into chaos over this man Jesus. He didn't know it, but he was actually prophesying that Jesus was going to die for the nation. And, he was the high priest, and he didn't know, but he was talking about how all the people were going to be united to restore the nation, which is what the gospel does. It unites a people from every tribe, tongue, and language and group, all to one body. So they started to plot Jesus' death. So Jesus went to the wilderness to hide away. The writer of John is showing that there's more and more tension starting. Every time Jesus is doing amazing things, the Jews who were supposed to support him were the ones who would attack him, and the Pharisees who were supposed to receive him were the ones who hated him. And you see this happen in John chapter 8, John chapter 5, many places in the book of John. You see glimpses of the Pharisees getting more and more angry. And so Jesus at this time, he had to stop his whole ministry, and he had to do secretive things. And we're going to see in the next chapter, this is right when Jesus is going to have the triumphal entry, and we're getting ready for the week called Passion Week in the book of John, where Jesus is going to spend that week doing things, preparing for his death. His death was very drawing near at this point.